Hey guys, what's going on? It's a podcast now. 2021, date Saturday, 3rd of July, 7:53 p.m. Eastern
Your time.
Standard. Is it? Yeah, it is that time.
We're in the same time zone.
Yeah, sweet. That's good
All
because then
good.
the videos will be in the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, yeah, that's good for editing to make
Yeah,
sure the videos are in the same time zone.
yeah, true. But
Okay.
yeah,
So, yeah, welcome to the first episode of a podcast now. Today we'll be discussing Fast Furious 9 as well as the classic
Mhm.
Point Break.
So good.
Um,
So good.
so good. I'm your host, Lachlan Rodwell, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Lucas Boreham. Lucas, how are you going today?
I'm good. I'm not too bad. Just had a wonderful dinner with my
Hmm.
housemates. Had some sausages. They're a bit too
Yep.
small though. They're not the big ones. Oh, we had like these small sausages. But other than that, going swell.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I've just been in lockdown.
Yes. Very
Sydney's third
tragic.
lockdown. We're catching up to Melbourne in terms of the amount of lockdowns.
Mm,
And
it's
yeah, and I can tell you Point Break definitely passed the time.
that's good.
So,
That's good.
what actually before we get into thoughts on Fast and Furious, I want to
Mhm.
quickly discuss the Fast and Furious movie titles as a franchise because I think
Yes.
it's utterly ridiculous. So in international markets, they are
Yes.
called just Fast and Furious and then the number, right?
Okay. Okay.
In the United States, because Vin Diesel thinks that, that's where the fast heads are or whatever, the Fast and Furious movies get a different name, right? So this is for the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and now ninth. Fifth one is Fast Five,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sixth
Yeah.
one, Fast and Furious Six.
Yeah.
Seventh is Furious Seven, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what the title is for the ninth one?
No, I actually don't. I saw it as Fast and Furious 9 or
Yeah.
Fast Furious or something.
No, it's F9, The Fast Saga.
Oh my God.
That is the title. That is the official title in the United States. And it's funny.
Oh,
I think Vin Diesel saw, he saw Marvel doing the Infinity Saga. He saw
yeah,
Star Wars with the Skywalker Saga, and he was
yeah.
like, I need a saga of my own.
He does. He
So
does.
the Fast Saga.
It should have been the Diesel Saga.
I mean, that's all it is, baby. It's
It
his
rolls off the tongue
vehicle,
better.
to
Mm.
use a pun. Um,
Oh, what a mess.
so
What a
so
mess.
what were your general thoughts of F9? Like where would you rank it in the Fast and Furious franchise?
Um, oh, probably at the bottom, like the worst. I mean,
Worse
they
than eight?
definitely.
Worse than
Sorry.
eight?
Yes. Yes. I mean, they went to space, Lachlan. They went to space.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was
I
like,
mean,
"Oh, the next Fast and Furious, they'll go to space,"
as
and
a
they did
joke.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
as a
did it.
joke, and they did it. I mean, oh, it's just it. I don't even know. Like I was just watching this film, and everything was becoming so predictable
Yeah.
and just so silly that it kind of was just a fun ride. But I felt like, you know how at the rides they have the height, you know, like, oh, you have to be this high to ride the ride.
All
I
right.
feel like my height, the height for that ride was just down by my hip. I feel like I was a bit
You
too
were too
mature
tall.
for it.
Yeah.
Yes, I was too tall.
Yeah. Look, I agree, but I think it's
Mhm.
better than Fate of the Furious for one key reason, and that is I really like the flashbacks. I actually
That's
really,
true.
really like the flashbacks.
That's true.
And because it felt the going into it, I heard that they were going to do flashbacks, and I was like, oh no, this is going to
Mm,
be awful because of how the franchise is now. It's not the Fast and the Furious anymore. Like
mm,
it's tonally completely different. So then,
mhm.
if you were gonna do, like, I was worried they were gonna do something like, Dom's parent or Dom's dad was actually like a spy all along, and like
You weren't far
that's
off.
why they're
You
both
weren't
like these
far off.
agents,
Yeah.
right? But no, he's just a actual just racer guy who dies, and then you
Mm.
know they have a falling out as a family, and it's good. It feels like the Fast and the Furious again, like the shitty. When they go to the races or whatever, and they're all dressed like it's the late '90s again, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
you
That was a
know
good part.
it
That was a
just
good part.
reminded me of the Fast and the Furious so much, and I thought they did a great job doing
Mm-hmm.
those flashbacks. And the
Yeah.
guy that plays young Dom,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, he nails it. Like, I can't imagine doing a Vin Diesel impression
Mm.
legitimately and
Yeah.
it actually working. But somehow this guy kills it, I think, as Dom. And there's a cute little reference in that flashback scene as well. In the first, I think it's the first movie. I think they reference it in other Fast and Furious movies. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they say that Dom beat a guy half to death with a
Yeah,
soccer
exactly.
ball.
That's exactly what it like. I knew exactly what it was. I was like, oh,
Hmm.
this is because I remember because I've seen the films recently, and he
Yeah,
keeps going on about it. How oh, like I went to jail because I beat this man half to death because he killed his father and stuff, and he talks about it, and then I kind of immediately knew what the flashback was. But yeah, I have
yeah,
to agree. The Dom character, the actor, he definitely did a really good job. And I definitely did enjoy the flashbacks. It reminded me of what I loved about the original Fast and Furious was like the 80s, 90s, and the noughties of like all these cars going on and
yeah.
stuff like that. And that it was just from very very humble beginnings that they were just racers. Their father was a racer. They just made a car and stuff like that. And now it's just blown out of proportion with
Yeah, exactly.
people are trying to do magnets and shit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we got to stop them with cars.
Because I was curious going into it when they said, okay, John Cena is going to be Vin Diesel's brother. It's like,
Mm,
okay, this is going to be a massive retcon. How are they going to handle it? I think
mm,
through the flashbacks, I think they do a good enough job at
yeah.
explaining. I still don't. There's a few things I don't like about it, and that's their explanation as to why they both end up as these like super spies. Is that they're Torettos? It's
Yeah,
just in their DNA. It's
how is
just
John Cena this spy? Like, you know,
I fuck it beats me, but they had
where's
but
his
it's a Toretto thing. Okay, it's
now
just
they
being a
need to
Toretto.
give him 9 films. John Cena.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what they were doing. They introduce him and then they do
Hmm.
his 9 films. So it'd be like John Cena's
So they go
first
back.
Fast and Furious.
It's like Star Wars. You do the prequels now with John
Hmm.
Cena. You
Exactly.
get a proper saga that way, Vin
Mm.
Diesel. So
Exactly.
I think
Mm.
I think that's what they should do. And I found it funny that they complimented John Cena as a means of complimenting Vin Diesel. So they say something
Mm.
like, "Oh, that jawline. Oh, that's a Toretto jawline."
Yeah.
And it's
Oh my
like,
God.
and then you look at Vin Diesel and you're like, "Mate, these two do not look
Mm.
anything alike." Okay,
That's so
don't
true.
try
Yeah.
to, that's like Vin Diesel and his narcissism, just to be like,
Mm.
"I'll throw this line in here," where you
Mm.
say John Cena's good looking, and by proxy you're saying I'm good looking, because
Yeah.
it's a Toretto, you
That
know.
was definitely put in there by Vin Diesel. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're getting him," and we're saying, "Oh, my chin's Nordic," which means attractive or some shit.
Yeah, I know.
Remember that?
Yeah,
It
the
was so weird.
Toretto bloodline is very confusing. Like,
Mm,
I have no
very
idea
good.
their ethnicity at all anymore.
Mm.
But anyway, I don't think it
American,
really.
Armenian, who knows?
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess we'll never know unless they explain it in F10.
Yeah,
Um,
fast 10 your seatbelts.
oh my God, you've got it. That is the title. That
I
has
was,
to be the title.
it was a Twitter post I saw. I was like, it's got to be that
Oh,
one.
you should
Yeah.
have claimed it. No, that's a
Oh, yeah.
fantastic title. I think as
Mm.
well, after we finish talking about F9, I think we should
Yeah.
pitch F10 because I've got a few ideas.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I like it. I like it.
okay, I have some general notes throughout that I wrote after watching the movie.
Hmm.
First one is Dominic Toretto loves a shotgun. A shotgun is useless in most scenarios
He keeps
because
pumping it. He keeps pumping it.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
because it's always like long distance, like ranged
Mm.
fights that they're in, and he's always got a shotgun. Because
Yeah,
if you're
that's
at
true.
shotgun distance, then
Mm.
you would have already they're
Yeah.
in the jungle, right? It's not like he's going to see someone directly in front of him and then shoot him with a
Mm.
shotgun. It's like
Yeah.
they'll be
He just
hidden
loves it.
like in the bushes and that, shooting at
Yeah.
you, and your shotgun's
Probably got
useless.
he's probably got bad aim. That's why. So he just likes the spread, I guess.
Hmm.
But talking about combat, can we please talk about Roman Pierce just
Hmm.
aimbotting
Hmm.
like no tomorrow. Like I feel
It
like
was
there was
fun
the
to
scene
watch.
where it was good. It was good fun, but it was also like there's no balance really because he's like,
Hmm.
the comedic character, the one that always fucks up,
Yeah.
and he's good at that. And then all of a sudden he just like kills 10 people,
Hmm.
like Agent 47. And you're supposed to sit there and go, you know, am I supposed to perceive this character differently now? Like, it's just
Well,
it's strange.
that's when they
It's
got into the stuff around, are they invincible? You know, when
Mm.
they had
Oh
that
yeah, true.
conversation. And
Yeah,
I
because he
was
like
curious, like, are they actually going to go there and say straight up, you know what, they're invincible? They don't. They end on like they're lucky, I think is what they end on.
mm, oh yeah, I
It just
guess
seems
so.
like a bit of a weird thing to be like like I think it's weird for the movie to be self-aware in that regard and
Mm,
say, "Oh, maybe we are invincible." Or, "Oh no, it's just we're not invincible. It's just we're a family and we're lucky and blah." Like,
mm.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of a Fast and Furious movie like knowing it's winking at me. It should be ironic,
Y-
not
yeah, exactly.
intentional.
Mm. It's
Mm,
tough though. It's tough. What I also didn't like was how Dom loves his family. He's all about family,
family.
and then his
Yeah.
actual family, his brother, he hates because he blames him
Yeah.
for his father's death. Which I feel like Dom like wouldn't do that. I feel like he would still like love his brother. You know,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
I didn't actually think of that. I think you could justify it as like, you know, he Dom is looking for family more now because his actual
Mm,
family was broken, right? Mia's
yeah,
all he has left, and now he's trying to find, his actual family again.
mm,
Um,
that's true.
and I guess the movie kind of draws a parallel between Brian and what's John Cena's name, Jacob or
Mm,
whatever, as
yeah,
being
yeah,
like
Jacob.
his like Brian was like the metaphorical brother that was always there for him, and then
Mm,
now
mm,
Jacob is trying to fulfill that role, kind of.
mm,
But
that's true.
I don't necessarily like it because Vin Diesel's the macho man, right? He literally
Mm.
there's a scene in the movie where he takes on 100 guys at once, and
He literally
just
he snaps a guy's back like in The Dark Knight Rises, and I was just
yeah,
like,
he's
Christ.
Bane, he's Bane,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
So he's like the big macho man, and then you have
Hmm.
Brian, who's like you know, he's not quite necessarily good at fighting or
He's
anything,
nimble.
but
He's nimble. He's
yeah,
smart. Mm.
and it's like fight scenes with him are always much more tense because it's like he might not
Mm.
actually win. Whereas anytime you see a
Yeah.
fight with Vin Diesel, you know Vin's gonna win,
Just
you know,
fucking elbow
and
smack.
that's why I don't think John Cena can fill that Brian role because he's also that macho man type. It would just be
Mm.
weird if they were the duo of the
Mm.
franchise going forward.
Yeah.
So I have a better idea. I think Han is the better choice to be the new Brian
Mm.
because they both have
100%.
that same like they're more intelligent characters who do more of the not the just straight fighting but like the more I don't know, like the running and jumping kind of shit. That
More
that
agile. They're smart
yeah.
thinkers, and they fight smart, and you kind of like watching them because they're cunning, and they're cunning, but they're also ruthless. So you enjoy watching,
Mm.
oh, what's going to happen next. Whereas it's quite your expectations with Vin are just like, oh, he's gonna like kill some guy with his fists by hitting him really hard.
Yeah.
kind of thing. So yeah.
And he will win.
Yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
did you hear that in I think it was Fast Five,
Hmm.
they wrote into Vin Diesel's contract that he had to go like punch for punch essentially with The Rock. So The Rock couldn't ever beat him, but so it'd be like if The Rock throws Vin Diesel through a wall in a fight scene, Vin Diesel would also
Yeah.
have to throw The Rock through a wall in a fight scene. So if you go back and watch the fight scene, you can literally see it's like, okay, Vin headbutts. Okay, 5 minutes later, The Rock headbutts, and it's like literally
Mm.
the like one for one. They have to do the exact same moves to each
Mm.
other because it's in,
Yeah.
in each other's contracts.
Yeah. I
Um,
do love that film,
but
though.
yeah, and
Fast Five definitely was the brink
yeah.
where everything kind of changed, I feel like.
I thought they were trying to recapture some of that magic when they
Mm.
started bringing in, more people again. Like we got all the
Mm.
Tokyo Drift guys back,
Yeah.
which Tokyo Drift is a big issue in this franchise now. It's just it was supposed to be such an
Mm.
unconnected movie, and now it's like the
Oh.
most integral movie. They've
Oh,
really
it's
ruined
so
that
bad.
movie. But I
Yeah.
want to talk about the funniest part of that is that so I can't remember the character's name. This like Southern American guy. I know the actor's name's Lucas Black. He is supposed to be a teenager in Tokyo Drift, right? Because he
Yeah.
goes to high school. But he was
Yeah.
when he was cast in that movie, he was like 30 or something, right?
Yeah,
So he already
exactly.
didn't look like a teenager. And now that movie came out in like, the late 2000s and it's been a decade since
Mm.
then. So he's now like in his 40s, right?
Yeah.
But in the context of of the Fast franchise, Tokyo Drift would have been only a few years prior to F9, like chronologically.
Yeah.
So really his character should be like early 20s, and he's very clearly like
Mm.
balding and wrinkly and
Mm.
looks like a 40-year-old man, you know?
Mm.
So it's like that
Yeah. It
whole
would have
thing of
been perfect.
like, sorry, what?
It would have been perfect for him to become the next Brian, I feel like. Like if
But I just hate him. I hate his
Tom wasn't a
character.
construct. Fair enough, fair enough. But like he kind of had that bit of Brian in him. Well, actually, yeah, more of Vin Diesel and that, like, oh, I'm dumb, I like V8s kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah. They almost tried to mash Brian and Dom together when making that character, but then put him into high school. Like,
Well, they literally did with the Mustang and the Skyline engine. That's literally
yes,
Muscle and Brian coming together kind of thing. So yeah, literally.
exactly. And the other way that Tokyo Drift is now ruined is Han's death is now so complicated, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Like, it started off, it was a
Mm.
random crash that
Yeah.
killed him. Okay. Okay, that's all good. Right, just random. He died. Now, no, and then in the end of Fast and Furious 6, and then in Furious 7, it's
Mm.
revealed that I think his name's Deckard Shaw. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
Statham
Yeah. Mm.
killed him to get back at Dom, who injured his brother in Fast and Furious 6, right?
Yeah.
So now we have to now believe that during the race in Tokyo Drift, Jason Statham knew where Han was going to be and then killed him, right? Okay,
Mm.
fine. But now we need to believe that Han was involved during the Tokyo Drift. Han was
Yeah.
involved in finding this super weapon, and it got so dangerous that Mr. Nobody had to fake his death. Because they knew that Deckard Shaw was trying to kill Han, or was going to kill Han.
It's
Like,
it's just too much.
does that
It's too
not blow
much.
your mind?
I feel like all the other characters as well, like Letty and Mia, are like, shit, like what's going on as well. I feel like the actual actors are like, this storyline is just blown out of proportion. Just pay me my money, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially
Like,
Han.
I think
But
it was
yeah.
good decision bringing Han back, but it was so like there should have been some easier way of explaining it. Like, I don't know, it was just it's so much, and that's my biggest criticism I think of this movie is it's so complicated. Like it should just be a simple save the world, but then it becomes okay, we need to explain Dom's brother. We need to explain Han coming back.
Yeah.
And then they make the super weapon confusing as well. Like, do you even know what it does?
No, they were trying to connect it to a satellite or something. That's it. Fucking, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. It's going to make them really rich, apparently.
How? Like, what does it do?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So the movie's just really clunky because it slows down a lot to just explain this shit. And it's just, it gets boring. Like, I don't know.
It just got repetitive. It got repetitive as well. It just like,
it did get very
it just got repetitive. And,
I was surprised that the only, like, you know, in say Fast and Furious 7, they jump through the skyscrapers. I was waiting for that kind of moment in this movie. And I guess it was the rope swing.
The bungee jump with the car? Sure.
Yeah. I thought it was very fun. I actually liked it. I just like when Letty's like, no, like, you're not actually going to, like, no, don't do this. Like, this is a terrible idea.
Presses the nos, like fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
so good.
Oh my God. Okay. But they, as we mentioned before, they go to space. It's been the big thing. Fast and Furious franchise is going to space.
They make it.
They make it. And I'm confused because, like, isn't the whole point of Mr. Nobody and this whatever agency they're in that they have, like, unlimited resources now? So,
well, that was the thing, that Mr. Nobody was dead and they didn't have access to any of those resources. So, yeah, that's what I gathered. It was like, oh, they have nothing now. You know?
But, like, there was still that scene where there was, like, they were on, like, private jets, and not private jets, but, like, those giant, like, aircrafts. And, like...
Yeah, that's true.
And, like, they've got all of these weapons, and Dom has a secret compartment in his house now that's got, like... It's like he's Batman.
One for his kid and one for guns.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and how do they afford all these cars? Like, just the whole thing's messy. So I don't know whether they're supposed to be scrappy or have access to everything, because, back in Fast and Furious 5, it was very clearly scrappy. And then from, like, 6 onwards, it became, we're, like, good guys and we have access to anything, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're going to go to the extent of going to space, I don't get why they go for a car instead of just a space shuttle. Like,
Top Gear did it better. Top Gear did it better.
I did find that very funny. Like, they are pretty identical, like ambitious but rubbish kind of ideas.
Yeah. Oh, it was weird. But yeah,
how does
it was a.
I don't get how the Tokyo Drift guys know how to build rockets.
Yeah, that was a shitty way to bring them. A shitty way to bring them in, honestly. It was so cheap.
And just
to, like,
reminder, they just left high school. I want to make that clear. Yeah. They've only recently left high school. They're probably supposed to be our age roughly. And they're building rockets out of cars. Idiots. Literally writing this film right now. Yeah. And how does the Fast family know that that's what these people are doing now? And because they were never really that close. And it seems like Roman and Tej stumbled upon them kind of thing and was like, oh, you're doing rocket shit. That might be useful.
Yeah, it's just frustrating,
But
honestly.
so I watched the movie with my dad, and when they were going off to when they were in space, Roman's like doing this with the wheel, and it's like, what are you turning, mate? What are you like? Like he's like, oh, and it's just like unbelievable.
I also just want to applaud Roman's quote in the movie when he goes to punch the bad guys undercover. They're like a delivery company and they're undercover. And
Yep, yep.
he asks when he's like, "Hey, I ordered my Crocs 3 weeks ago. Where are they?" Best line in the entire film, hands down.
Yeah,
Like, where did that
like
come from?
it was a pretty poorly written film. I think we can all
Hmm.
agree. There's some line that's like, you know, Brian settled down with his family. Why, like, we should be doing the same. Like, Dom says that to Letty or something.
Yeah,
And Letty goes,
yeah.
yeah, but we're not Brian and Mia, Dom. And it's just like, surely there was a better way of writing that line. Like, or at least
Mm,
delivering it. Like, it was such like a, oh, anyway. Speaking of Brian, though, right? They
mm.
they do a lot more Brian in this movie than there was in Fast and Furious 8.
That's true. That is true. I guess, yeah.
And
I
I
didn't really
was,
notice it too much.
yeah. I was, I think they're handling Brian quite well because when Mia comes back, she's in this
Hmm.
movie. Um, the question is, well, why is she there and not Brian?
Mm.
And they answer it by saying, well, Brian's looking after the kids, and Mia's here because Jacob is her brother, right? So this is a family thing. And
Hmm.
that's a great explanation. You don't need to really talk around it. You just say, yeah, okay, that's believable. Brian is
Mm.
looking after the kids and allows Mia to handle this family, affair.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
then we get the money shot at the end of the movie when Brian pulls up in his skyline.
It was good. It was good. It was much needed. Much needed, I feel like. I was waiting for something like that, and it came. But I also want to point out Cardi B surprise appearance is in this film.
Oh my God.
Fucking out of nowhere.
I completely forgot about that. But that was
Mm.
like in Hobbs and Shaw when
Mhm.
Ryan Reynolds was suddenly in it and Kevin
That's true,
Hart
yeah.
was suddenly in it. So I think they're just getting cameos now. It's like since they don't have a Stan Lee, they just get,
Mm.
famous people to cameo in the movies. And it's like, look at how
Mm.
successful the Fast franchise is now. We can get Cardi B in a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. It was
She was
just not
largely
needed,
useless.
though.
She was in
Not
it for like
needed at
one
all.
scene.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
then every
And it
time
just
they
didn't
do
make.
a character like that, it's like Dom already knows, who they are. And it's like,
Exactly. Like,
when were they involved?
everyone's family. I know everyone. It's
Yeah, everyone,
hilarious.
everyone in the world is family, but Jacob, he can get fucked, right?
Yeah. Haven't kept
And I
track of
find that
him
funny.
for ages.
Yeah. Do you think so? Let's just picture this scenario, right? You've killed your dad, okay? Whoopsie doopsie, you've killed your dad. Your brother
Oh
then
no.
street races you, and if you lose, you have to just drive forever, and you never see Dom again. You lose the
Yeah.
race. Now, would you keep driving? Like, would you, in all honesty, keep driving?
I would try my hardest to like apologize and be like, but yeah.
Yeah, like this is your brother. Like you would talk it out, wouldn't you?
Yeah. It's just
I
silly.
don't know.
Honestly, just what can you do? But I also think, well, didn't Jacob say, "Oh, we needed to lose the race because they were betting on themselves to not win it or
Yeah,
something,
so
like because they were
the
in
whole
debt."
thing, yeah. So I was wondering in what way for what reason did they rig the race? And was it supposed to help or inhibit their father?
Yeah.
Because
Who
I didn't
knows?
know,
Who
was it
knows?
like he was going under the hood to do like, illegal modifications to make the car go faster? Or was he trying to do like a malfunction and then it's like, it didn't seem like he was intentionally losing the race and then, you know, he gets money for it or whatever. Like I was just confused as to why they were rigging the race and what way they were trying to rig it.
Yeah, it just in the end it really didn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just like they added it on to be like, oh, there was actually another thing going on. Like Dom was
Mm,
in the dark all along, but it just sounds so cheap and so dumb that like, Jacob honestly could have made that up on the spot and been like, oh, I'm
mm,
not the bad guy. We just didn't want to tell you because obviously like dad didn't tell you because you're the star child and he trusts you the most and everything like
mm,
didn't make any sense,
mm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
hey, what can you do?
Anyway, they then predictably, Jacob isn't the bad guy for the entire movie. He
Mm,
turns like every other bad guy in this franchise. But usually they turn in the following movie, not in the same movie. So this is actually new ground we're covering here.
mm,
I want to make that
mm.
clear, right?
Predictable
The Fast
ground
and
though.
Furious, yeah, it's familiar ground, but it's still slightly different to previous
Mm.
movies. Um, but what did you think of recreating the end of The Fast and the Furious, where they hand the keys over?
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. But again,
Yeah.
like I do want them to just like start fresh, kind of like the Expendables 3 did, but not so badly. Like find some new drivers or like I don't know,
Mm.
like it's kind of hard or like even just start fresh from everything, like forget about Dom and just like focus on the street
Do another
racing
Tokyo Drift.
scene today. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
this movie, yeah, these movies are no longer about street racing like that. Those days are well and truly
Mm,
behind them at this point. But
yeah.
at least we got a street race in this movie. We got one street race. I think that's more than
Mm,
you can say. No, actually, there was one in eight too. But yeah, it's strictly now like you get one race, tick in the box, you're done.
yeah.
That's your one race for the movie.
Yeah. Then they go bungee jump a car and fly space.
Yeah,
So you get, you know.
that is the movie. I will say though, I think
Mm,
the references and like the Easter eggs that they kind of do for those who have watched the entire franchise, I think they do a good job at like honoring the franchise as a whole. Like, because like Fast and Furious 5 is a fantastic movie, and that means a lot to a lot of people. So taking it seriously
mm,
when you do those like references, like beating the man half to death with a socket wrench and giving the keys at the
yeah.
end, and just stuff like that. Yeah, like, they take the lore of the world seriously, and I appreciate that. It's a
Mm,
pretty dumb franchise, and they do respect the fans, like the actual true fans of the franchise. You
mm,
know?
mm. I feel like they should be respected
Um,
more though, like Marvel fans, because
yeah,
that like universe is just so well built, and they just have this
yeah.
amazing way of just retaining like their whole fan base and just referring to so many things at once. It's just like the coolest thing ever.
Hmm.
But yeah, what can you
Well,
do?
speaking of Marvel, one of the things they do at the end of the movie, mid-credit scene. Did you watch it?
No, I did not.
Okay, so let me explain it to you. So,
Yeah.
it's Jason Statham, right? He's punching a punching bag, but inside is a man, not whatever else is usually in a punching bag. Um, and it's some form of
A
torture to
man
get
bag.
information out. Yeah. Yeah. So and I can't even remember why, but it was to get information or something. And then he gets a knock at the door, and who do you think's at the door?
A rock. A rock.
No. It's not a rock, and it's not the rock. It is Han. Han is at the door. Because, so this
Wow.
doesn't make any sense now, but have you heard about the Justice for Han fan movement? No? Yeah, I'm not
No.
surprised. So because Hobbs and Shaw, when Hobbs and Shaw came out, people were a little upset because Jason Statham's character killed Han and now he's a good guy. Like, how are we supposed to? Like, Han was one of the best characters. How can we now enjoy Jason Statham when he killed Han? So this is now showing, like, okay, Han is now going to confront Jason Statham about his death. But keep in mind, he didn't die. So, and it was exactly what they needed to happen. So really, there's no justice needed now because Han didn't die.
Mm,
They needed Deckard to fake
yeah.
his death for him, right? So it's really quite meaningless. I guess the only thing it's teeing up is that Han could be in Hobbs and Shaw too. Um,
Yeah.
which I kind of like. I think Hobbs and Shaw. If I was to rate, the Fast and Furious movies since five, right? Five's at the top, and then for me it's really chronological. So it goes five, six, seven, and then I'd put nine above eight. That would be my ranking. I'd put Hobbs and Shaw above nine. I think Hobbs and Shaw is better than Fast and Furious 9 and Fast and Furious 8 because it's a really simple story. Like
Hmm.
Idris Elba is just the bad guy. He says, "I'm the bad guy." There's no funny business. He has superpowers for
I'm
some
Black
reason.
Superman. Yeah.
Exactly. He is Black Superman.
Mm.
And it's just clear. It's just you get the story. It's not complicated. They don't need to try to retcon things like brothers and Han coming back. It's just simple narrative, and they just do it well. And there's fun action sequences, and they do it well. So I'm kind of interested
Mm.
if they do a Hobbs and Shaw 2 that has Han. I think that's a good idea because
Yeah.
I
Hobbs
think
and Han.
I think the future. I think the future of this franchise, because we know that they're doing a 10th movie that's going to be a two-parter, right? And then I think Hobbs and Shaw 2 has already been announced. So I think they're going to do
Hmm.
spin-offs. I imagine there'll probably be a
Yeah.
spin-off for Roman and Tej. I imagine that'd probably be a good spin-off.
That'd be good.
Then they may do like a Letty spin-off, you know? I don't know. But I think the one
Letty and Mia.
fans Letty and Mia, there you go. A female. You could call it female Fast and
Mhm.
Furious.
Yeah.
Female and Furious. There we go. Um,
Wow.
and then I
It's all
think the
coming
one
together.
that it's all coming together. I think the one that I think the one that fans want though is I think they should do a Tokyo Drift 2. I think they should straight up do it. Like get the
Mm.
whole game back together and just do it. You've got all the pieces now. Just do it. You know.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that's definitely the way to
Okay.
go. But again, like I've lost all faith
Hmm.
in the Fast and Furious franchise. I left it behind, just like I left behind,
So
Star Wars and Harry Potter and stuff like that. But yeah,
So you don't think there's any value left in this franchise?
not for me who like enjoys, watching purely racing, like F1 and
Hmm.
rally and stuff like that. I feel like that side of Fast and Furious is kind of lost now. I feel like it's more turned into an
Yeah.
Expendables, James Bond, Mission Impossible type franchise that is just all about, oh, we got to blow up stuff and then find the device to the thing and then do this in 24 hours before explosion, ordeal kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel you. Look,
Mm.
I'm excited to see how they end it. I think they could do. I think they could do something pretty special if they think hard enough and plan it well enough,
Mm,
and not write a
yeah.
really shitty
Mhm.
script, you know.
Yeah.
Um, because and the other thing is, I think they're gonna bring Brian fully back to end off the franchise. I think he'll actually they'll get like his brother, like Paul Walker's brother, to film it probably, and I think they'll just bring the character back,
Mm,
because
mm,
it feels like they teed it up at the end when Brian come drives into the yearly family barbecue. Um, it felt like they were saying, okay, we're probably going to bring Brian back for the finale. So
yeah.
look, I'm tentatively excited for a massive like it's not. Is it going to be like an Avengers Endgame? No, no. But it could be a solid send off to this franchise that I've grown up with, and I do really enjoy.
Mhm,
Even though it's gotten stupider in recent years, I still love the
mhm,
characters of Dom and Brian and Han and even Tej and Roman. So I'm
mhm.
excited. I'm excited to see how it ends.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I agree. I agree with you. Like, yes, we have
Okay.
grown up with it. We've seen it grow. We've seen it
Yeah.
expand into something that
Progress.
has definitely, I mean, stayed with like the age group of like what we were. Like, I feel like hasn't
Mm.
grown with us necessarily. It's just kind of kept, kept with that smaller age group. Well, I say younger age group. However,
Yeah.
yeah. I think if they bring it to an end, like similar to Endgame, I feel like that'd be a good way to send it off. Really.
I reckon every single possible person that's ever been in a Fast and Furious movie is going to be in that last movie. It's going to be everyone,
Hmm.
and they're gonna
Yeah.
it's and they're doing a two-parter, so they must have something planned. You know,
Mm.
I don't know who's going to be the bad guy though, because Cypher, who's the bad guy of 8 and now 9, I don't
Yeah.
particularly think is that interesting. So if
Her haircut was
she's the big
terrible in 9.
bad, oh mate, it was worse in Fate of the Furious. She had dreadlocks as a white woman.
Yeah, true. You're right.
So
You're right. You're right. Actually. Okay.
so in all honesty, the haircut's probably an improvement. A bowl cut is better than dreadlocks, I'm gonna say. I think that's
Yeah,
safe to say.
that's true. Yeah.
Okay, do you have any final thoughts before we move on to Point Break?
Um. Yeah. Look. What else did I have? Yeah. So yeah, Dom kills a lot of people. The only good thing about this
He
film
does.
is Mia not aging at all. Like, what's going on? Everyone else is like getting fatter. Han's getting
Ah.
older. Mia is perfect. I feel like.
Ah, I didn't actually think that, but yeah, I mean, even every character in this movie doesn't, because this has been a long running franchise. It's like 20 years or so or
Mm,
longer, and yeah,
yeah.
she looked good for her age.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it about. Oh, and also the bodyguard, um, that tried to kill Jacob at
The
the end was
body.
Brutus from Mad Max, which I liked. So it's just like Mad Max vibes. If you remember
Uh,
the one with the tattoo on his
that's
face,
that
it was
that
like
is a
huge.
yeah, that is a
Mm.
movie
So
detail
yeah.
right there. You can put that on the Reddit.
Oh,
Okay, my
I guess
the
it's the same. Yeah.
yeah the my final notes are: do you reckon? I noticed this. The product placement for Corona beers was a little bit more hidden this time. It wasn't as overt. It wasn't,
Yes, definitely,
here's a bucket full of Coronas. Was this a
definitely. I
result of the
agree.
pandemic? I think that's a very
Interesting.
unfortunate loss to this franchise.
Yeah. Corona affects everything.
It does. It's ruined. It's ruined the franchise. Frankly, to me, it's all about Corona beers and
Clearly.
take.
Mm.
First we lose Brian. Now we lose Corona beers. I mean, what is the franchise now?
It's just, it's terrible. It's terrible. I don't even know anymore,
Mm.
honestly. What beers do I drink now? I wanna be bald and fat like Dom. What the fuck do I drink? I don't know.
That was the other thing. It was like they said to John Cena, like, "Oh, you're so jacked like a Toretto." Another one of these Toretto things, and it's like, okay, you're just trying to make Dom. You're trying to just boost Dom's ego through Jacob. Like, come on,
Mm.
get over yourself. But yeah,
Yeah,
and then my
just
last
sick
my
of it.
last note is the sequence where actually I've got two more notes. The sequence where Ramsey drives the truck, right? She doesn't know how to drive.
Mm. No, but she changes gears like she knows. So
Exactly. That was the thing. Is it's a truck, it's manual. And don't trucks have like multiple gearboxes or
mm.
some shit? Like, and she's
Yeah.
just able to drive it. And
Mm.
then Dom Dom gets in the truck and they do this like look at each other. And I thought then they were going to switch seats and Dom was going to start driving, right? But
Mm.
no, they don't. She just keeps driving and somehow she can still drive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Good on her.
my last
Got a
note
license.
is
Good on her.
yeah, good on her. She's proving that, even when women can't drive, when even when they say they can't drive, they can still drive. So frankly, this movie is quite ahead of its time in a lot of ways. Um, my last, actually, I still have a few more. I've got so many notes. Um, everyone knows kung fu.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to say anything more than
And
that because I think that speaks for itself.
oh,
Like, come on now. Some of these
oh, it's
notes are
so
pretty
good.
good.
It's so good.
And then my last one is is the we all know Dom's favorite car, right? The Dodge Charger. Is it supposed to
Mm.
be the same car in every movie? Is it supposed to be the same Charger from the Fast and the Furious?
I don't think so.
How many Chargers have they gone through? Like, like they're
Nine,
expensive
probably.
cars. He's just buying them. Like, like there's no tomorrow. I think he destroys one in every single movie.
Yeah. In five, The Rock runs into it and he gets really pissed off. I remember that.
Mm.
But yeah.
So anyway, that's it for my notes. I think I would
Mm.
say, you know, I'd say you don't necessarily need to go out to the theaters to watch this movie. You can wait until it's on like a streaming service or something. It's good fun, but
Yeah.
it's not the franchise it used to be.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. Should we now move on to Point Break, the classic Point Break? Now,
Yes,
I
please.
hadn't seen this movie before. I had not seen this movie before.
It's good.
And I
So good.
remember when I told you, let's do Point Break, you said, what has that got to do with Fast and
Hmm.
Furious? And I did struggle to answer it because I hadn't seen the movie. Now that I've seen the movie,
Hmm.
they are the Fast and the Furious is nearly identical to Point Break. So
I agree.
let me do a bit of a plot summary of Point Break, and I want you actually, I'll do a plot summary of either Point Break or the Fast and the
Yeah.
Furious, and I want you to tell me which one I'm
Alrighty.
talking about. Okay?
Wonderful. All right. Here we
So
go.
a an agent, right? Actually, let's I won't start there. There's a group of people that do extreme sports that also perform heists. An agent goes undercover into this into a group of people that also perform extreme sports, right? And learns about the sport itself, as well as trying to get information on the people doing the heists. It turns out that the group he's infiltrated are the ones doing the heists. But now he's got this relationship with them. Like, oh, we're friends. I've got my girlfriend's in this group now. I'm best mates with the leader of the group. But then the group finds out that he's an agent, and they don't like that. And then they have a falling out. They fight. They have a fight, and then eventually the agent gets to the point where they're going to arrest this person that they've now formed this relationship with, and make the decision to let them go. What movie am I talking about?
Well, both. Because, at the end of Point Break, Keanu lets Patrick go in Australia, right, to ride the massive wave. And he dies, doesn't he? He fucking... He cops, like...
Well...
he gets dumped by the wave and he dies, I guess. Yeah. Well, we don't know. Yeah, but like, you're exactly right. They're very similar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, The Fast and the Furious came out after Point Break. And I think it's clear the influence was there. And if I was to compare the two, right, which I will do, I do think The Fast and the Furious is a better movie, because I buy the relationship of Brian and Dom much more than I buy the relationship of Brian and Mia much more than I do for Johnny Utah and Bodhi, or Johnny Utah and I'm going to say Tyler in Point Break. And that's the crux of the movie, is they form this relationship, right? So I think The Fast and the Furious just does it better. That would be my only thing if I was to compare the two movies.
I agree. I honestly agree. Like, Brian just does like the best job ever. And the world that he's thrown into, he makes it feel like, he is kind of an outsider, but he quickly gains insider information, but he also knows his shit. Whereas Keanu kind of learns through his lady friend. He has fucking no idea how to surf whatsoever, and he's kind of intimidated by these guys, whereas Brian is less intimidated by Dom and stuff. Like, he knows he's dangerous, but he's also there's this kind of friendship going on that we see when Brian kind of earns Dom's trust. We see this, relationship kind of start. And then you feel like when I think Vince is dying, and Brian pulls out his phone, you really feel that emotion. Like, Brian's let Dom down. He's really let him down, but he's also I want to save Vince. But I love that scene so much at the end. It's good.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, right? So the group in Fast and Furious, we can name practically everyone in the first movie. Now, granted, we've seen it quite a lot, but we know their characters well enough that we can name them all, right? Mia, Letty, Dom, Brian, Jesse, Vince, and then there was that one other guy that, okay, maybe we don't know his name. That one
final guy. R33, that guy?
But
yeah,
I can't even remember what he drives. I don't think he dies. I think he's just in that movie.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
I cannot remember his name. And I barely know what he looks like. But in Point Break, I barely know anyone's names. I know Johnny Utah, because that is just the most ridiculous name. Who came up with that name? Who thought that was a name? The name of a normal human being is Johnny Utah. Because I was thinking about this during the movie. He's practically a TikTok influencer. He has all the attributes. He's a real fuckboy. He's haha, I'm Johnny Utah. Haha. He's such a dick to people. And he's just, and the hair and everything. He's just like a TikTok influencer today. Yeah. So
He's
anyway,
gorgeous.
but
He's a
my
gorgeous man.
point more is that the group of people, we don't really know their names, right? So Johnny Utah, Bodie, and then I didn't know what the love interest's name was, but then there was a scene where Johnny is on the phone and it's just going Tyler, 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 and I'm like, oh, her name's Tyler. Oh, okay. But then other than that, no idea. Oh, but Bodhi's the bad guy, right? But other than that, literally no idea who anyone is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Still good.
I think yeah, no, you go.
Oh, there is a massive delay. Holy hell. Like I literally finished saying
Oh,
something.
sorry.
God, it's a huge delay. My God. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so I'll start going through some of my notes. Um, because of the because I saw the remake first, I assumed
Hmm.
the movie was about a lot of different extreme sports, not just surfing. I was surprised to when I was like, "Oh, it's just surfing." Sorry,
Mm.
sorry to those Point Break fans out there.
Yeah,
I am very sorry.
the
I did
title
not
doesn't
know.
really offer too much, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
it's just Point Break. Like that could mean
Because
many
it's
things,
supposed to be
you
like
know?
the I don't know surfing terms, but it's like you know it's some surfing term. But it's like if you're not a surfer, then you don't really know the term.
Mm.
Um, so yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, and then the title sequence. It's a montage where Johnny is training in the rain and Bodhi is surfing, and I just wrote, "Why is everyone so wet?" That was my note. And then
That's wonderful.
at
That's
the end
great.
of the movie, they're fighting again in the beach in Australia, and there's the waves and it's raining at the same time. So it's like worlds colliding. So then I didn't
Awesome.
feel so stupid when I wrote that
Awesome.
note
It's
at the
amazing.
start of the movie.
That's good. That's good. That's what you want.
Did they coin the phrase young, dumb, and full of cum? Do you know?
No, I don't think they did. Oh, that's actually a good question. That's actually a good one because I do remember hearing it in that film. Um, I do remember Keanu saying it with great confidence. Um, and I never wanted to hear that word ever again. Well, that sentence of words ever again. But no, I'm
That
I'm not
phrase.
too
Because
sure.
that's
We
definitely been a
must
phrase I've heard
fact check.
before.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and then the whole it hinges on the fact that one of them shows their bare ass to the camera, right?
Yeah,
And that's what undoes this whole thing for this
because of what the tan lines, right?
because of the tan lines. Exactly. So imagine you're an FBI agent. You're just staring at this picture of a
Mm.
man's ass, and you just know that's a surfer's ass. You know.
Mm. That's a surfer's ass. Look, he's got the tan lines. We got him, boys. We got him. I'm gonna go away for 6 months, learn how to surf, and catch him.
And just imagine this conversation, right? Where we're good mates in this surfer clique, right? And I say, and we're about to perform a heist, and I say, "Can you
Mm.
write thank you on my ass?"
Yeah, look. I mean, it does show that they are like shit at what they do. Sorry, they're like not very good at heisting, and that's why I do prefer the Fast and the Furious heist because they were very professional
Hmm.
about it. But at the same time, I mean, it only took one trucker with a shotgun to take down Vince and ruin the entire heist. Whereas,
Hmm.
the surfers, like they were going up against like armed cops and stuff. So, they were a tiny bit more, thrill seeking there. But what can I say? What can
Hmm.
I say? It's a weird world
But
we
then
live in.
I'm blown away when Keanu, right, Johnny Utah, figures out that this group is the group doing the heists when that same guy shows his bare ass while
Mm,
surfing. So, I mean, if he just wasn't, as willing to
mm.
show his ass, then they would have been fine.
He was gay all along.
I mean, it's, like he just kept wanting people to see his ass. Right? They shouldn't have got someone with that kind of addiction
Yeah.
in the group.
Yeah.
Um, Fuck, I've got so many notes on this movie. Look, I think it's a good movie, but there's just a lot of like,
Read them out.
there's a lot going on. Um, my
Mm.
question was, is does Brian at the start of the Fast and Furious, he's already a racer, right? He already likes cars, right?
Yeah, it seems like he's established himself in the FBI or in the police department as being yeah, into cars. But he is like tasks
Mm,
onto the FBI. Like yeah, mainly because he's into cars. But yeah, like we're just supposed to know that, I guess, because maybe he's worked for some companies, but there's no real backstory. He just knows quite a bit about cars, and that's it. There's no real
yeah,
explaining of
no,
that. I guess.
because Johnny doesn't know how to surf, and that's probably the biggest difference between
Mhm.
the two movies, right? Is that Brian's already a car
Yeah.
guy, but Johnny isn't a surfer at all. So, so then
Mm.
I don't get why the group like him at all, right? Because it's not like they have the same interest. Like that was the one thing that made the relationship in the Fast and Furious work was that they were car people. So no matter what side of the
Mm.
law they're on, they still respect each other
Yeah,
for that, right? Whereas
exactly.
Johnny and Bodhi have nothing in common, yet they're supposed to have the same sort of relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I think they did like
But
Keanu Reeves's character because he was just like an idiot. Like um, he was like throwing himself at waves and like just he was being a daredevil by like
mm,
having no experience whatsoever, but still going out and like you know dying out on the waves, and they like was seeing him and being like, this guy's crazy, and maybe well, I guess they kind of liked him through that, but yeah, it's still a lot weaker than Brian's influence, where he's actually like
mm.
save your ass when the cops are here because the cops are the common enemy kind of thing. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, I think that was fun. Like showing, Johnny learning to surf. It was funny. Like, but it's just like I don't get why they would ever like him then. And it's like the
Mm.
reason like they form any kind of relationship is because when they're playing American football, they realize that he was like a college footballer or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, you're Johnny Utah," and it's like, is college football that big in the United States that you'd be able to know who players were, like the best players were?
I'm pretty
Because
sure
I
it
don't know
is.
anyone in any university team in Australia. So,
Yeah. Oh well.
just my thoughts.
Mm.
Um, I'm I'm confused as well by Tyler, the love interest. Was she
Mm.
Did she used to date Bodhi?
Yeah. I think there was some mention of that because it's a surfer group, so they usually sleep around with each other. Um, and yeah, I feel like that was established that yeah, that's why like I guess Keanu kind of liked her because like she had that in with that group, I guess. But at the same time, it's still difficult because I liked how Mia in the Fast and Furious is established as the sister, so she has that connection, but she can still have the
Yeah.
relationship with Brian, whereas Tyler is just a friend, so not the same as being a sister or a family member.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit strange.
And just one point, right? The Fast and the Furious franchise, but also the first movie. It is a little bit of a sexist movie, but the women in the movie, Letty and Mia, are actually three-dimensional characters. Like they are for the large part, and they only become better characters as the franchise goes on, right? Whereas
Hmm.
this movie's depiction of women is just a little. I mean, it's the 1990s or whatever, but like it's not great. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a scene of Johnny
Hmm.
Utah spying on Tyler with binoculars, like hiding behind a car, and it's
Hmm.
like, and then at the end of the movie, it's like the crazy guy in the
Well, he's an
group has
FBI
kidnapped
agent,
her
though.
and is going to kill her, and it's just like, sorry, I said again.
Well, he's an FBI agent though, so it makes sense that he's spying on her, I guess. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
There
I
was a bit
know,
of
but
like,
it
oh,
gives off a little bit
bit.
of especially when you consider the fact that Johnny is using her to get information, which I mean is what Brian does in
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. But it's like, I don't know. It's just I just noticed that it is the movie hasn't entirely aged well. Just to be frank.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
No, I agree.
Also, I got this vibe throughout the movie that everyone hates Johnny. Everyone fucking hates him, just can't stand him. Which makes sense because he's an utter dick to everyone. But it just didn't feel like they were
Hmm.
all mates hanging out. It was like, and the other thing, right? In any group setting, he was utterly silent. Like he was just not talking in any of the group scenes because he was like scared to talk. And then whenever he did talk, it'd be like, huh, so what about surfing, huh? And it's like, you don't know anything about surfing. It's like, shut up, Johnny. You know? Like he didn't do a great job infiltrating this
I
group,
need a
yet
yeah.
somehow he succeeded above all else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look. Keanu's not the best when it comes to like, yeah, when it comes to actually like delving deep into a role other than John Wick. Um, so yeah, like I feel
Yeah,
like Point
I'd
Break,
agree with
he
that.
kind of suited this FBI character that was kind of a little bit out of his depth, and he was a little
Mm,
bit scared. He was like, "Fuck, like I don't know what to do. All I can do is
mm.
just fight and surf and manipulate women." But like, what can you do, really?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like Keanu, like I think Keanu is an okay actor, but he's not, he's not anything special when it comes to acting ability. Um, but he's always likable
Hmm.
in a lot of the roles he plays. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, he's
even
always
though
very,
Johnny
very
Utah,
likable. He's
even though
like,
Johnny Utah is a Yeah,
mhm.
even though Johnny Utah is a bit of a TikTok influencer type of character, but somehow 30 years ago, he is still a bit likable.
Hmm.
Um, Another thing, I didn't know whether I should do this, but I thought of I could write my own shitty movie detail where I was gonna say, in Point Break, 1991, Johnny Utah, played by Keanu Reeves, says vision is highly overrated. And this is a reference to Neo from The Matrix, who was blind in Matrix Revolutions. I don't know, the third Matrix movie. That was going to be my
Yeah,
shitty movie detail
yeah, the third
if
Matrix.
I
Yeah.
bothered to write it out. which
I
I
feel
just thought
like
was funny. He's like,
those shitty movie
and that's the
details
whole
need
thing
to
with
be like
Johnny.
outrightly.
Need to outright what?
Oh, they need to be like just outrightly stupid. Like obviously not a movie detail. Like I feel like that one honestly could be a movie detail. I feel like you need to make
Right,
one up
except
that's
for the
like,
fact that
oh,
Matrix
Johnny
3 came out
Utah
like 20 years later.
is related to the country, no, the state Utah. Yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
I don't know.
That would actually be a great one. Um,
Yeah.
I would say the action scenes in the movie are quite good. Like the chase scene is
Mm.
legitimately very good. You know, it's very tense. It starts off in a car chase and then goes to on foot. Johnny breaks his leg or his knee or whatever. I think that kind of also ruined the movie a bit. The second he hurt his leg and was injured, it then meant like, okay, all of these fun action sports now, he can't really do them. And, you know, I
Mm.
just didn't, you know,
A fucking
felt
knee.
like
It's always the
they,
knee.
it felt like they, yeah, I know, it's always the name. I just felt like they didn't cover enough ground with him fully bodied that when they injured him, it felt like, oh, okay, well, now, you know, there's not much you can actually do. And then we see that when they do. Look, I have a
Mm.
big issue with the skydiving sequences that they do the thing which they also did in the first Kingsman, where they do a scene where they pull the parachute extremely late and they practically like hit the ground. And I get that the tension of the scene, right, it needs to be that like it's shot so that the second he pulls the parachute, they then land because you're building up this tension to this point, and then the second they pull the parachute, you know, it's the climax of that scene, right? So then you can't just have them slowly drift down. But they're pulling the parachute
Yeah.
absurdly late in this movie. Like like it's literally like pull and then suddenly Bodhi's in the water.
And
But
they
it's
just like
worse
fall on
in
the
the
mountain,
second
don't they? It looks
parachuting
like they.
sequence. That
Mm.
that one, oh my god. I don't know how Johnny's not fully just dead. Like he hit that ground. I don't know how they did that shot as well, because it looks like real people hitting the
Mm.
ground. It was
Yeah.
intense.
It's tough.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
just have
I
an
can.
issue with scenes that do
Yeah.
that. You know, where they pull the parachute just absurdly late. It just annoys me because it's like you're dead. You're dead. Okay. You know, the second I see a
Mm.
scene like that, you're dead. Um,
I agree.
Also, during going back to the chase scene, Johnny straight up kicks a dog. I don't know if you remember that moment. You don't. So let me
I
explain.
no, I do remember it. Well, is it
And like
attacking
a
him?
bull. Yeah, yeah. And he straight up, you know, in Anchorman when Jack Black punts the dog off the bridge. It's literally like that. He just kicks it. He just yeets it. So Johnny Utah is a
Jesus.
confirmed
Jesus
dog beater.
Christ.
I don't know.
I never knew. I never knew pro surfers could also be dog beaters. But yeah, and FBI agents as well. What the hell?
Hang on a second. Johnny Utah is not a pro surfer. He is a barely an amateur surfer.
Surfer, former,
Hmm.
former
Just
idiot,
just a
I
surfer.
guess.
Former
Yeah.
TikTok influencer is what I would say. Um, uh, Also, so Johnny's cover at the end of that chase sequence, right? He's staring at. I'm gonna assume it's Bodhi, and is contemplating to shoot him, right? And doesn't. Um, why does Johnny not think that his cover is now blown? Because he goes back to the group pretending like everything's good.
Exactly right. And you're like, well, he looked at you. It looks like he made eye contact at you because like you're pointing a gun at him, when he's like lying down and he's like, and then he just shoots it up in the air. He's like, ah. And then yeah, he's like, oh, I can just go back, and they won't realize that I'm the guy that has the exact same facial features, and everything. So yeah, it was very very strange. It was like all the audience was just like, "What's going on? You literally just shot at these guys without a mask,
Hmm.
and now you're going back to them, and you're going to let them just take you." So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And inevitably, what happens? He gets taken, and then you know we get we get Tyler being kidnapped and threatened, and we get Johnny falling out of a plane without a parachute, which I thought was actually a really cool scene.
Mm,
Um, it's
mm.
it feels real. It feels real the way they did it, and same with the surfing in that. Like all of it, they shoot it in a way that makes it feel really real. And I actually am curious if real stunt people did that. Um, those sequences, like they
Mm.
would in the modern Mission Impossibles.
Yeah, yeah, I think they did. Like, and that's why I love that film, honestly, because it's just, it's got the action, but it's also got the interesting sports, and it's got, this funny group, and it's got good fight scenes, and it's just got good shooting scenes, and it's just a pure '90s film that's just, sit down and watch, just chill out.
Mm. And I don't know if you noticed this, but all of the death scenes were shot in slow motion, and it really started annoying me because it was literally like every single character.
I didn't notice that. I actually, but now that makes sense. I feel like yeah, they're just using slow mo to be like, just, people dying. But yeah,
It's I don't know if you know, but the director Zack Snyder is historically known for his use of slow motion, and I thought he would be very proud of this movie with how much slow motion is in it. Because like go back and if you
I
watch it
didn't
again, it
realize.
is like there's so much slow motion, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Well,
Um,
I might give that a try. I also didn't realize that Zack Snyder directed it. Jesus, he has a very long career
no, he
then.
didn't direct it. I was just making a joke. I was making a joke.
Oh, you're a dickhead.
No, I don't know actually. I don't actually know who directed it. Um, that'd be a good question. I'll quickly Google that because it's like
Hmm. We
I would
should
say
know
it's a
that, bro.
fairly
We're the
well-made movie.
movie guys. Yes.
We're the movie
Definitely.
experts. Oh my God. It's directed, I don't
Hmm.
know if you know this, Catherine Bigelow, who was James Cameron's well, now James Cameron's ex-wife. She directed The Hurt Locker, right?
Wow.
And The Hurt Locker
Wow.
is an
Oh yeah,
amazing
that's
movie.
that's a great film. My God. Yeah.
Hmm. That actually makes a lot of sense why it's such a good movie because she's actually a very, very good
Mm.
director.
Yeah. Good on
Hmm.
it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have
I
anything
think
else to add? Any
just got a
other notes?
few more notes. Yeah, I've got a few more. Okay, at the very end of the movie, when they're in Australia, there's a
Hmm.
Keanu says something like, "Oh, how's it out there? Is anyone surfing?" Something like that. And an Australian says, and
Hmm.
I quote, "It's a death on a stick out there, mate."
What the fuck? Death on a stick. Who says that? I hate how they just think that we are so unintelligible that we just say shit and it makes sense. Like, what's going on? Fuck's sake.
Like, what does that even mean? Death on a stick? Is he talking about like a kebab or something? Like, where you have like a stick of meat or something? Like
Maybe
death on a stick.
like a person on a surfboard being a stick, that you're dead on a stick. Like if you go on the surfboard, I don't know. Maybe.
Because I Googled it and everyone is like, yeah, what the fuck is this? Like, death on a stick means literally nothing. But hey,
Mm.
it's good old Australian saying. I'm going to start using that. Oh, instead of it, instead of saying like, oh, it's blowing a gale or something like that, I'll be like, nah, it's death on a stick out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or,
Um,
instead of saying, "Oh, I'm poorly," you could just say, "I'm death on a stick, mate," instead of saying you're sick.
I am death on a stick. Oh, it's like Cockney rhyming slang
Mm.
then, right? Instead of saying, oh, I'm sick, I'm death on a stick.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
bit literal, but it's at least it means something a bit more then. Let's just go with that.
Hmm.
Okay. My last few notes are um, when Johnny lets Bodhi go at the end of the movie. Um, Bodhi barely surfs the wave. He's on the wave for like half a second and then stacks it and dies. Like, was that really worth it?
Bang. He tried. He tried.
But he was like so up himself about it, like, oh, this is like one in a million wave, and I'm the surfer god. I'm gonna be the one to ride this wave. And then,
Well,
you know,
maybe he
he
just wanted,
choked.
like, that was the way he wanted to go. That was like, if like how that was it Brian said, like, if I die, driving a car, like I'll let you know. Well, I'll always have a smile on my face, something like that. Maybe it's like, if, pro
Oh,
surfers want to die on a
yes.
wave because, like, at least they're having fun.
Mm. Do you believe in that mentality? If you die doing what you love, then it's a good death.
Mm, I don't know.
This is
Honestly,
a
don't
real
know. Like, I feel
philosophy.
like
No,
if if like it's stupid, say like it's dangerous, like drifting on a
mm,
mountain by yourself into oncoming traffic. That's stupid. People will not like you for that because you're putting other people in
yeah,
danger, and your parents be like, "Oh, my
yeah.
son wrapped himself around a tree, coming down a mountain on his car." Instead of, "Oh, he was racing his car in like a night, like a safe environment where there are like actual people around that like the
Mm.
area's safe." Then I feel like that's what would really matter. Like if it's surfing, like you can't really control the waves, but I feel like if you're not going too hard and not being stupid, yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't know if like I don't know. It just seems like death is like I think the ideal death is still just growing old and being in your bed and dying of old age, And that's not doing what I
Hmm.
love. Well, I guess I do love
Yeah, that's true.
sleeping, so maybe, but
Sleeping's the best, honestly. That shit is
okay.
amazing.
And then sleeping is the best. I wish I could get more of it, man. I'm addicted, but just can't find enough of it.
Mm.
My last note is I so this whole movie has been building to this point where the two characters they respect each other. But I don't really get why they do. I just don't get it because they don't it's not like Fast and Furious where they have the same
Mm.
passion. They're not they're very much on opposite sides of the law. I don't get why Johnny feels the need to let him go and
Hmm.
surf that wave. Because has Johnny, my question is, did he ever learn anything about surfing that changed his point of view? Like, oh, just, life is like, whatever, the hippie nonsense that they were trying to preach. Like, did he, because to me, he didn't take any of it. Like, he
Mm.
was still an agent of the law at the end of the movie. And it didn't feel like there was any reason
Yeah.
why. It was like, hey, you killed my partner. You've killed a bunch of people. You've stolen a bunch of money. What you're doing is wrong. And we have nothing in common. Frankly, we have nothing in common. Why would I let you
Yeah.
ride this wave? Even if I know you're gonna
Mm.
die, why would I let you do that? And then Johnny
Yeah.
throws the badge away. I just
Exactly.
don't see the truth in that, you know?
Mm. I don't see it either. I feel like the hippie stuff that they were trying to preach didn't kind of make sense with robbing banks. Like I feel like, oh, I love living on the beach and like not giving a shit. And
Yeah,
then they just go rob banks. Like I feel like
that, that's
Dom
what I was.
kind of had a better mentality. He
Mm.
was like, oh, look, I like to build cars and stuff, but you obviously need money to build cars and like race and shit. So there was like, okay, I
Mm.
understand why you want to make money, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember the reason why Dom was like stealing the DVD players and that in the first movie. I don't remember the reason, but the reason in this movie for
It's just
stealing the money is literally along the lines of it's something like um, we're stealing from the rich. It's like anti-capitalism essentially. Like it's this message of, we're not stealing the money to spend it on anything. We're just stealing it to send a message that, capitalism sucks and like, and it's like there's better ways
mm,
of protesting, right? Like committing these heists and like, you know, dying a lot. Like I think everyone in the group practically dies. Like, was it really worth it? Did you really
mm,
like stealing some money that
yeah.
insurance is just going to write off or whatever? Like, did you really do any? Did you do anything? Did you do anything? I appreciate the
Mm,
sentiment, but frankly, I
yeah.
think there were better ways of doing it.
I agree.
But yeah, all in all, I think it deserves its place in history as a classic, a classic action,
I
kind of
agree.
not
I
really a
agree.
thriller, but a bit of a thriller
Yep.
around, centered on action sports. Without it, we would have never gotten the Fast and the Furious, which I think would have been a tragedy. And
Mm,
I think it sets out a good template for movies to follow. You know, I think there were things to improve on, but it's a fairly decent movie.
yeah, I agree. I honestly think that, yeah, it is a cult classic that Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, um, beautiful cast, and I feel like everyone plays their part very well.
Hmm.
The directing is amazing, and it just like the storyline itself. I feel
Hmm.
like nothing had really done something like that before. Like, oh yeah, people go undercover as gang, you know, a gangster or like a
Hmm.
drug dealer or something like that. But thinking that like surfers would be like in the heist game was kind of cool. That and then an FBI agent going undercover to become a surfer. So you followed him on this journey of becoming a surfer, but also trying to find out who the fuck are doing these heists was kind of cool. So yeah.
Exactly. I agree with that. So I think
Hmm.
uh, let's do a bit of a little game where I'm going to read out some movie details and some shitty movie details, and I want you to tell me which one is which. Okay? And trust me, this is going to be way harder
Okay, let's do it.
than you think. So let's start off. So I don't know why as well, but in movie details, they always say the year of the movie. And it's like, in some cases, yeah, it makes sense, right? There are 2 point breaks. So say
Mhm.
the date of the
Yeah.
movie, right? But in movies that there's only one, it'll be like Cat in the Hat from 2006 or whenever that movie came out. It's like there's only one Cat in the Hat movie. Like chill with the years. But anyway, it's because they think like by putting in the year, it like validates it, like it's more professional or some shit. But like, come on, you're just
I
putting
agree. I
a
agree.
detail that
Yeah.
anyone with a brain knows about onto a Reddit page. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Um, so here we go. Here's the first one. In Point Break, 1991, when Johnny Utah, Keanu Reeves, realizes that Bodhi, Patrick Swayze, is the guy he's after, Tyler, who's played by Lori Petty, says to him, "You all right? You look like you saw a ghost." Later, when Johnny is later when Johnny is listing the places he followed Bodhi to, he says Bodhi had lunch at Patrick's Roadhouse. That is the first one. Now I'm going to read the second one.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Go.
Yes. You will have questions. I'll answer them. I'll answer them at the end. Here's another one. The bad guys in Point Break 1991 had to wear masks because their impressions weren't good enough. Except Patrick Swayze's, his Reagan, he nailed it.
Yeah, that's obviously a shitty movie detail, but it's a good shitty movie detail.
It is a
Obviously.
good shitty movie detail. Now, the actual movie detail, do you have any idea what that means?
Well, what Patrick's Roadhouse? No.
Yeah. I'll read another one because I think the person who wrote that one didn't quite know what they were talking about. But I'll read another one because this same sort of movie detail comes up a lot. So, in Point Break, 1991, Utah, Keanu Reeves says he trails Bodhi, Patrick Swayze, to a place called Patrick's Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze was the main character in the movie Roadhouse. So that is the actual movie detail. But someone else wrote it, leaving out that crucial detail that Patrick Swayze was in a movie called Roadhouse. So then it just doesn't make any sense.
Idiots. Idiots.
So I
God.
thought that one would trip you up because I thought how badly that was written that you would think it was a shitty movie detail. Okay, I'll go again. Okay, here's another one. I want to see if you can get this one.
All right, here we go.
Okay, if you watch closely, in Point Break 1991, there is a hidden detail proving that Johnny Utah is actually an FBI agent. That's the biggest plot twist in cinema history. Okay, this is the actual movie detail. In Point Break, Utah reports tailing. Oh, did I just say? Oh shit, I ruined it. Pretend like I didn't say that. In Point Break, Utah reports tailing
Okay,
Bodhi, who he
I didn't
says
hear you.
eats at Patrick's Roadhouse. Okay, I stuffed up that one. Let me go again. I just want you to know, practically every movie detail is the exact same on this stupid Reddit.
But it is stupid.
Oh my God, literally every single movie detail is the exact same. It's all Patrick's Roadhouse. Okay, here's another one. All right, okay. I won't stuff this one up, I promise. In John Wick, a video game being played has a player named Point Break. Point Break is a movie starring Keanu Reeves. Okay. Here's the second one. In Avengers Endgame, Thor does not say a single word when Tony Stark asked what was wrong with him because he was still mad that Tony registered him as Point Break on the Quinjet in Sakaar. Which one's the shitty movie detail?
The Avengers one.
Correct. It was the Avengers one. Because we all know that that was not the reason why Thor wasn't talking to Tony. It was because they had all just lost against Thanos. Okay. Hopefully I can find hopefully I can find one more that doesn't contain the stupid Roadhouse reference. Because literally every single one is Roadhouse. Like, you should go next time, after this, go into the movie details Reddit and type in Point Break and see how many say Roadhouse.
Peter in Family Guy does, where he like kicks the steering wheel of his car and he says Roadhouse. Is that the same Roadhouse?
I have literally no clue. I have never seen anything. I'm not a massive Patrick Swayze fan.
I'll fact check that. Neither am I.
But yeah, everyone on movie details seems to know what Roadhouse is. Okay. Okay, this is here we go. Here's a good one. Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves' love child was set to star alongside his parents in Point Break 1991. Though his scenes were cut, he still received credit as Patrick Swayzeanu Reeves. His name still appears in the opening credits.
That's the worst shitty movie detail I've ever heard in my life.
I think it's better than the actual movie details, though. Okay, here's another one. In Point Break, Keanu and Laurie's characters weren't meant to kiss, but they were shooting alone on a remote location, so when Keanu went off script for a kiss, Laurie had to kiss back because of the implication.
That's pretty funny. I like that one. That's something that Keanu would do as well. I feel like.
Well, I've got bad news for you. I just read 2 shitty movie details. I tricked you.
What the fuck? I trusted you. You said that you do one normal movie detail and then a shitty one.
One of each. Yes, but
how are we going to start this?
Very quickly,
how are we going to start this journey if you're lying to me?
Based on a lie. Based on a lie. You know why? Because maybe I want this to fail. Okay, I want this to fail like Patrick Swayze at the end of Point Break, off of a wave.
What? Yeah, be dead on a stick. Yeah.
We should,
like this podcast will be, huh?
Yeah.
But no one.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to go there? Are we going to have a fight right now on the first episode of the podcast? I'll end this fucking podcast right now.
Yeah, fine, sure.
Okay, well, I will do it.
End it, bro.
Okay. Well then,
I don't even care.
More to say. Okay. I guess this is.
I got shit to do.
Thank you. I'm not thanking you.
Right.
Shut up. Thank you for watching / listening. Please watch us next week when I'm aiming. I think we'll talk about
Don't.
Black Widow, but
Just don't watch us next
Lucas
week.
here doesn't, he doesn't play by the rules anymore. He's going off being a renegade. Anyway, so genuinely
I
thank
could
you
do
if
it,
you
mate.
watched and listened throughout us ramble about Fast and Furious and Point Break. And we should be back next week to talk about Black Widow, right? That's the plan.
That is the plan. Black Widow, where she's all dressed in white. I'm actually excited to understand how Russian Scarlett Johansson really is, and how good she is with two pistols.
Mm,
So yeah, we'll see.
exactly. Should be good fun. Okay, well, we'll end it there.